In the previous mini lecture, we went through the concepts of values and culture and how they decline in organizations. In this mini lecture, we will explore some organizational culture models. In addition, we will hint at what we know and what we still don't know about how workplace design and management interrelate with company culture. A well-established tool to assess organizational culture is the competing values framework. In a simplified version, this appears as a four-quadrant scheme that evaluates organizational culture effectiveness based on two main axes. The X-axis represents the focus of an organization. To be successful on the market, some organizations focus inwards on improving the efficiency of their internal processes, while some other organizations focus on competition and rivalry strategies outwards. The Y-axis represents the structure of an organization. This explains how some organizations prioritize continuous change, adaptations, and organic processes, while others prefer, for instance, more predictable and mechanistic processes. Usually large corporations or government-based organizations are of the latter kind. So this framework results in four organizational culture models. What's interesting is that the company culture can change over time. The case of Apple offers a good example for this. This company started in the so-called adhocracy, devoted to the mission of create at the time of Steve Jobs. When the company was founded, it was a dynamic, entrepreneurial, and continuously improving type of company, looking for opportunities to innovate. After the first successful years, they created the Macintosh by turning into a collaborate culture. They focused on the clan dimension by embracing this friendly, team-centered, and bottom-up approach. With this success, they passed through a stage of necessary control over processes that induced a shift toward a hierarchy culture. With the absence of Steve Jobs, the company concentrated on the compete market goal by focusing on the relationship with customers. And finally, the company called Steve Jobs back, who pushed it again into the create culture. Companies can assess their current culture model and also the model they want to evolve into by taking a questionnaire called Organizational Culture Assessment Instrument, which is based on a scenario analysis. Other popular commercial approaches are available to assessing and managing and benchmarking mostly companies' culture. For instance, the Culture Audit Management Questionnaire elaborated by The Great Place to Work. It is noticeable, though, that these tools do not include special features as determinants of culture. However, many organizations still adopt a workplace change, for instance, exactly to introduce a cultural shift in their workforce, as we already mentioned in the previous mini-lecture. In conclusion, we saw that companies can change their culture several times and pass from create to collaborate to control to compete and then return to the beginning. Only a few studies, though, address the extent to which building characteristics and spaces reflect an organization's culture, or in reverse, how an organization's culture might be affected by special features. We will go through this in the next mini lecture.